Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are connecting with me live this beautiful Saturday. It's afternoon. It's 13 minutes after 12 right here by my time in Nigeria. Thank you so very much for everyone who has been subscribing to our channel. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for those people who have been contacting us to help them carry out their project. Thank you so very much. Very quickly today, I decided to give us an update on the decking work actually happening on site this afternoon, and I want to give a rundown on some certain things that actually you need to consider whenever you want to prepare for your decking work right here in Nigeria. So the first thing you need to actually bear in mind is that you have to factor in the size of your project. Now, the size of your project will depend on the actual amount that you'll be spending on your decking work right here in Nigeria. So the first thing you have to factor in is how many woods will I be buying for my decking? How many woods will I be buying for my, when I mean woods, I mean plank, I mean 1 by 12 by 18 feet. 1 by 12 by 18 feet. So depending on your project, you may end up using between the ranges of 150, 120 to 150, depending on the size of your project. After you have been able to consider the woods that you want to use for your decking, the next thing you need to consider are the rods. Yes, the rods for your project, the 16 rod, the 12 rod, the 8 rod, and also your banding wire. Like I said initially, now one of the basic things that determine the cost of your project is the size of your building. As such, for this project, we got 16 for this project, and this is because of the column that this project is currently carrying. We needed to tie the columns to be very solid, because we're doing internal beam for the decking. After you've considered your rod, the next thing you need to consider is the electrical piping. Now, the electrical piping for your building, before you do your decking, they must carry out an electrical piping for your project. And also, this one is optional. Some people ask questions: do I have to do a plumbing conduit for my project? Some people will tell you, I do not want to see any plumbing pipe at the outer or the exterior wall of my project. As such, if you do not want any exterior pipe on your project, that means at this phase, you must also factor in the plumbing conduit on your decking before they do proper casting. After you have done your plumbing piping as well, don't forget I said I started with the woods. After the wood, the rods. After the rods, I talk about the electrical piping. After the electrical piping, I talk about the plumbing conduit piping as well. After that has been done, the next thing to factor in is how many trips of sand, sharp sand, will I be using for my project? How many trips of sharp sand will I be using for my project? Like I said, that the cost of your project is determined by the size of your project. But for this project, we're currently using two 4-in-1 trips of sand. Two 4-in-1 trips of sand. And also, you now also factor in the granite that you should also use for your project. For this particular project, we're currently using 30 tons for this particular project. Afterwards, you will now move on to, okay, fine, who are the experts that would cast my project for me as supposed? Yes, you may have all your materials, but the manpower to carry out your project would also determine the success of your project. And that's where you have Olinovic Solutions to connect you with the right guys to helping you achieve your project goals. Also, don't forget that you will need cement to carry out your project. Yes, so prepare your mind, depending on the size of your project, prepare your mind, 250, 300 bags of cement depending on the size of your project. And please do not joke with this. You need to have a stable water supply on your project to have a smooth ride on the project. So I just decided to give us a rundown on what you should put in mind as you prepare for your decking work. There is one thing that I have to say right now, which is very important whenever it comes to casting the decking, which happens to be the staircase. The staircase, not everybody can actually give you the right specification for your staircase. As such, it's very, very important that you factor this in when you have your design, that's your plan for your house. So you can see this is the staircase. So I'll take you forward right now so you can see what is actually happening on the site. So follow me carefully. My name is Remain Victor Olise. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, kindly hit the subscribe button right over now and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for those people who intend to contact us, please kindly do that on 070-6315-1558. I roll over again, 070-6315-1558. So you can see white pipes running around the decking. Yes, this is the electrical conduit pipe already installed right in the decking. So it ensures that as soon as the work is completed, we can easily run through our wiring when the right time comes about. So we have Engineer Edwin. Engineer Edwin, I need your presence, sir. Engineer Edwin. Yeah. So we have Engineer Edwin on the side trying to monitor the project and to see whatever is happening in the center. Engineer Edwin. All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Are you stressed?
It's a long day, man.
It's a long day, right?
Yeah.
All right, so can you just give us one of those things that we go through in project like this?
Okay. Let's try and capture this point. Yeah. Today it's like the final day of the journey that started last week. We've been on this decking stage for a while now, and so we give God thanks. The weather has been fair, and so we are doing our casting today. So let's come here. So as you can see what's happening there, that's where your mixing happens. And so whatever is happening there, you have to be sure as a contractor or an engineer that your people down there are actually following your mix ratio that you gave to them. So if you are telling them to do 1, 2, 4, you have to ensure that they understand what you want and you communicate it clearly to them. Because if they get your mix ratio wrong, it can also be a problem to you on the long run. So that's like the main and important thing you have to ensure today. And then again, you could see us trying to blind some leaking points. Because if you don't get that done, it can be a point of leakage for your concrete work, and that is not something you want to have on your job. So well, that's more like it. Otherwise, every other thing is trying to. Currently, we have about 21 men on site. We're trying to coordinate them and ensure that everyone is doing what they are supposed to, and nobody's job is lacking in that sense. So that's basically it. Do you have any other question for me?
No, we are good.
All right. Thank you very much,
Engineer Edwin. You know that as usual, I will always tell you that as far as building is concerned, not just in Edo State, but also across the nation, I have Engineer Edwin on your project. And not just because he's a civil engineer, but because he's a civil engineer with an experience on the field. And so do well to entrust your project to us, and trust me, in a matter of days we'll have your project executed as supposed. Thank you so very much. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, kindly hit the subscribe button right over now, and also the notification button to get beautiful tips on information about building projects in Nigeria. Thank you and God bless you all.